So, hello everybody, and welcome back to Simulation Section. This is my simulator world of excitement and joy. Yes, it's me and More Central. I do the real life stuff on my main channel and More Central. And here we take a little bit of a look at the transport simulators, mainly train simulator and OMSI 2, the bus simulator. And look at what is out there, have a little bit of a test drive, have a little bit of a run, and reminisce, and usually tell a few stories. As you can see, as promised, this video is not Northern Rail in the 2010s. It is in fact a few years before that, when Leeds looked a little bit more colourful. Before I press unpause, we have the Metro train Class 333 that's going to Bradford Foster Square. We have this lovely livery on the Class 156, as you can see, that's about to set off to Sheffield. Over here, we've got another Arriva liveried pacer, just like ours. And if we look over here with Arriva names on it, but still in regional railways livery, is a Class 150, which is about to set off to make its way to York. And to be fair, I'm getting a screenshot because that looks really cool. So we are in a bit of an older era. This is also one of the set scenarios that is available with this route, which, as you can probably guess by the 333, is the Max Tracks Airedale and Whafedale lines. I did tell you we'd be back. I just wanted to give it a few weeks so that we could come back and enjoy it. This is one of these set scenarios. I don't have everything for it, so not all the units. So there are a couple of trains that are probably missing that you may see in other people's videos, but I wanted to get it working for you all. I wanted to enjoy it. So we are going to ignore the fact that there's a few trains that are missing. Everything else seems to work. So we're going to make most of that. So for now, I'll unpause it and I'll let it talk us through what we need to do. So, good afternoon, drivers. Set up the cab and destination and then open doors to allow boarding. To assist, make sure you've consulted the briefing before you depart. So we'll have a look at the briefing. We are going on the 2 Victor 38 1433 service from Leeds to Ilkley. So I need to get the doors opened if I can help it. So we will be stopping at Leeds. We will then be going straight to Guiseley, because you've got to remember at this time when this video, when this was sort of based on, like this is like early 2000s, Kirkstall Forge didn't exist. So no Kirkstall Forge. We're going straight to Guiseley, straight up the Ilkley line, a section that we haven't covered yet, and a section I haven't actually been on in real life, so I'm quite excited about this. So we're doing Guiseley, Menston, then we're joining on to the other line that comes from Bradford at Menston, so then Burnley, Whafedale, Ben Ridding, and finally Ilkley in approximately about half an hour's time. So we will get our various bits and bobs set up here, so we need to twist that. The DRA off. Go, and we'll get our destination blind changed for Ilkley. So we need to go the other way, don't we? Because Ilkley. There we go. So there's where Kirby Stephen. There we go. We've gone past it. We're not going to Hull today. No, don't fancy Hull. Then what we'll do is we will get our lights switched on that are over here. So destination light needs to go on. We need to get our headlights on. Our marker lights actually need to be the ones that are on. There we go, we'll get our markers on so we can be seen. And there we go, we've got the destination all lit up. Everything's set. If we have a look at the back of the unit, hopefully it's set us all up. Yes, it has. That's excellente. So this is the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 142. Now, when we last drove this, it looked a little bit different. It was a little bit of an older model, so when Train Simulator DTG came out with their 142 pacer, Armstrong Powerhouse upped the game, upgraded their 142, and everybody who had purchased the 142 previously got the upgrade for free. So it will have the Armstrong Powerhouse amazing sounds on it, the lovely interior that, as I say, this is what I can imagine going around in the late 90s and 2000s was like around here. But yeah, it's got the very sort of nice interior, and I believe, yes, I'm right, you can change different interior poses. That's really cool. I have been briefly interrupted by the appearance of another 333 coming in. This will have been based around the time that diesel operation on the Airedale and Whafedale lines was being ushered out. Now, it did take a little bit for the 333s to settle in, and there were still times when obviously they weren't available, so they chucked other stuff out instead. So other things did service, like this, for example. But this was during the period that they were trying to introduce them, but there was still plenty of older units being used at the same time. And there goes that 142. Get ourselves already in the cab. So I do like a pacer, and believe it or not, it's really, really weird. This is the first time in this new relaunched Train Simulator series I've actually driven a pacer. That surprises me, I'm going to be honest. I just seem to have driven everything else. I was thinking it'd be a pacer. For those of you that remember when I used to do these videos on the main channel on More Central, I was always driving pacers. Always driving pacers. So, because I absolutely love them, I think pacers are awesome. I really, really do. Not just saying that because they're like the bus of the railways, but I've always thought they were really quirky units, really basic. And I have been to many heritage railways to go on them, and to sample them and to sort of experience them. I have had a few. There are a few of those videos that I filmed on the More Central channel that you can go and have a look at. Where I do have the rides on them and go for a little jolly and have a look around them. So you can go and check that out because there's quite a few paces in preservation. Although, as I say, you can't enjoy stuff like this when you're coming out of Leeds station on one anymore. What I also love is the fact that the going round the corners gets louder for the passenger saloon because that's exactly how it is in real life. That's so cool. And the sounds on this are just absolutely beautiful. I did accidentally drive one of these, the DTG one, I can't think of the word, the DTG one instead of this, accidentally, sort of a little bit ago. I didn't film it, I was going to, and then I realised, and I did have a drive of that, and I just noticed such a difference in the sounds. I mean, the sounds on this are just absolutely beautiful. So beautiful in comparison. And let's see if we can... There we go. Nailed it. Let's get a nice screenshot of these two side by side. Oh, that, to be fair, that's actually a nice enough angle, is that? See if we can... There we go. See if I can zoom it in a little bit more. Oh, not... maybe that much if I then zoom out to get that effect. It's the joys of professionally taking photographs and taking it very seriously. That's like the main thing you've got to do in train sim. If you don't take your passion in your photographs in train sim, then trust me, you're missing a trick. And as we leave the background of Leeds, that having driven the previous video on the Leeds to Manchester line, it's just a stark reminder as to how more detailed this route is. Like, look at the backdrop that we're leaving. Like, this is what you see when you come into Leeds on a train. It is so cool. And that sound as well as you go around, it's just really happy. I mean, what's really nice is, although I've sort of been a little bit out of touch in more recent times, it's really nice to know that Armstrong Powerhouse are still like the main people of awesome sounds within Train Simulator, not letting us down at all. And I mean, you can feel this as well. You can feel it sponging as well, going up and down, bouncing. Like, this is the proper stuff. This is. Sounds on this one. And what's even better is the sounds change when you change your angle. Oh, so good. So you can purchase this without needing any other dependencies from the Armstrong Powerhouse website. They have made this whole thing from scratch, sound, everything. Let's slow down because I think we're changing tracks. And although the speed doesn't reduce, I don't particularly want to go in accelerating too much if I can help it. Because it is a pacer and we'll send everything flying wise. So as I said, this scenario that we're driving now with a few minor edits because there was a few bits I didn't have vehicle wise, so there might be, as I say, a few rail vehicles missing. This does come with the map, with the route, which is the Airedale lines and Whafedale lines, which you can buy off the Alan Thompson Sim website for £29.99. It is entirely worth that £29.99. I am saying this from the position of someone that grew up on the line and someone that likes driving trains. It is absolutely amazing. The detail on it is so accurate, so detailed. What you are driving when you drive this route is you are actually driving from Leeds to Ilkley. You are driving as the exact route is when you travel on it as a passenger. Like, you could drive on this as a passenger, and what you are seeing now with stuff like the flats in the distance is what you would actually see. The attention to detail on this map is absolutely phenomenal. It is just absolutely like spot on, and I cannot say enough positivity about it. You do require for this to work the North Wales route that I did acquire during the Christmas sale on Steam for about £7, so it does go down to about £7 or £8. Usually it is about 25 quid, but if you do wait for the sales, it is worth waiting for, because as I said, I think that's about 70% usually, 60 or 70%. So, and that way it is worth it. So basically, for a few quid on top of that, 30 quid for this, you get a route that you get to drive to Holyhead, and you get to drive on the Old Anglesey. In my opinion, I think it's a pretty fair trade, and it is a route that once I think the hype of this is over, that I don't quite know what that's going to be, I might be waiting a little bit for that. I am going to have a little drive. Now, I did promise that in the previous video I did say I was going to have a look at Kirk's Lobby. Now, when I was growing up, I used to sit possibly somewhere about here, and we'd have the barbecue set up, and we'd watch the trains go by, as they do across the line, and watch them go up and down. We all the 333s, and you get the odd random thing like a 142 or 150 or something like that on the Lancaster on Morecambe line, and then you get your 158s coming through when you settle in Carlisle. Again, the fact that these have been included and it isn't just a singular object is like actually like is being properly made is really cool. As well as that, there is the road at the back as well. Again, adding to this, and just again like the fact that the railway is like right over there, and yet the detail has been done all the way up here, so you've still got something to look at in the distance, just like you have in real life. See if we can get a nice screenshot here, shall we? Oh no, the lighting is a little bit out. We'll wait a little bit for the lighting, which hopefully is going to be just round to bed, unless the lighting is fine, which I feel it might be. So yeah, this is something you don't get to do nowadays. You don't get to go on a pacer at about 70 miles an hour. It's just not something you get to do, unfortunately. So everybody needs to shut their eyes. We're going past a station that didn't exist at the time that this scenario was based. So we're pretending that this doesn't exist. There's no Kirkstall Forge at all. In the early 2000s, only a few years ago. I am going to tone it down a little bit because I can feel a lot of pressure building up on it. A lot of pressure, so let's just tone it down just a smidge, and we'll get a nice, I would say nice screenshot, but unfortunately I've left the HUD on. That's the only issue with this, is you do have to, like, when you pause it, you do have to take the likes of the HUD off, because it just will freeze the entire game up. That is good. I understand the positives of that, but it does also mean that you need a bit of strategic planning. As I say, I'm gonna slow it down just a smidge, because I can feel it starting to struggle around some of these bends. I'm gonna be honest. Yes, it is a pace as it does rock, but it is starting to rock a little bit more than I'm comfortable with, if I'm honest. So we'll just tone it down a smidge. That's the warning that we're coming off this line very shortly. So you can see we're coming up to a 50. That I would assume is the point in which we're coming off. The car is coming off at 90, if I'm entirely honest. And then we'll head up towards Ilkley. Now, as I say, this section that we're about to do, going through Guiseley, I haven't actually done before in real life. Like, I did everything else I've done. Apart from, oh no, I have, I tell a lie, I have done, come on, stop, there we go, I think I caught, no, I didn't catch it, really, I did, I pressed the Q and it won't go off, yeah, it's because I said I caught it, that's why, because I was like, oh, I've caught it, it's going really well, that's why the game then decided, no, you haven't. Yeah, for some reason my Q, that's my button to cancel it on the keyboard, doesn't want to work properly. Even though it is pressing it. At least we get to hear it starting again, so that's positive. Well, as a result of that, we are now late, which is really annoying. Everything on these lines except the sort of curve for Leeds to Ilkley. That's the only bit I haven't done. I might have gone from Guiseley. I want to say Guiseley is on the Bradford Hospital Square, but possibly. As I say that, I don't think it is. I know that Menston definitely is, because I have been through Menston. Please work, there we go. Caught it that time. Thank goodness. I had to press it for some reason. I had to press it on the hub. That I'm quite happy I kept the hub open, because I had to press it on that because for some reason it's just not wanting to know otherwise. It's a bit weird. So a lot of shaking and rocking, as you do from a pacer, as we change onto the opposite track to make our way onto the curve to Ilkley. Yeah, this is the only bit of this line I have not done before, as far as I'm aware. When I've gone from Ilkley, I've gone to Bradford, I've done the Bradford Keighley, I've done Leeds, Bradford on a class 91, I've done Leeds Skipton. The only bit I have not done is this section of Leeds to Ilkley. I've not done that particular bit, because whenever I go up to Ilkley from Leeds, it tends to involve a bus, or two, and that's just how it is, and I don't tend to find myself in Ilkley that often. If I've ended up there, it's usually on an adventure, heading out for something, so I don't tend to go there intentionally. It tends to just be something that happens in the area. Also interesting is if we have a little look down at the camber, this is actually quite steep. It's a 1 in 60 climb that for a train is actually very, very steep. So interesting as we are trying to climb up into Whafedale. Now this is the reason it's called Whafedale, so it's called Airedale, because it goes up to Ilkley and towards Skipton. That is referred to as the Airedale area. Keighley is referred to as Airedale geographically. So within West Yorkshire, Keighley is referred to as Airedale, and that surrounding cross-border area up to North Yorkshire is also referred to as Airedale. So it's Theaton and Silsden and bits like that we'll cover in a future video. This bit up here, so like Guiseley and northwards to Otley, Ilkley, and the other surrounding villages and bits that surround like Menston, this is referred to as Whafedale. So this is the Whafedale region. The majority of it is within the Leeds area, although surprisingly, Ilkley is officially within Bradford. To say it is actually quite a fair few miles away. If you do get a chance to do the Bradford Foster Square to Ilkley, I say we get a chance, we will be doing that. And when we do that, you will notice that it is actually a fair lot away, but it is still captured within Bradford, bizarrely, even though it is argued that it is ever so slightly closer and more accessible to Leeds. You can hear the motors powering the wood. It is genuinely starting to struggle up here, like it is, don't get me wrong, it has held its speed, but you can sort of hear it. Here it's starting to show a bit of a struggle. And we are going to ignore how late we are. We are a couple of minutes late. Nothing we can do. Pace is trying its best. And as you can see, when we get up to Guiseley, I think it's going to flatten just a little bit. And then from memory, I think it drops a little bit. Here we go, so I was wrong, the section up to Guiseley is included. The only bit I haven't done is that curve, because that line that's just joined us was from Shipley. It is the line from Foster Square. So no, Guiseley is included. I genuinely could not remember if it was or not. I really couldn't. As I say, I've not done that bit, and it's been years since I've done the Ilkley to Bradford Foster Square line. It is a shame that wasn't around on the railways and bits like that, whilst this exciting era of trains was about West Yorkshire, because as you saw as we were leaving Leeds, the sheer variety of units and liveries and bits like that were just amazing. Like, you think you've got it good nowadays with just like the 150s going about and stuff like that, but the variety, 156s, 156s, 91s coming in and out on a regular basis, these going about, all different colours, all different liveries, just so good. Right, seriously gave off a good effect. And here we are in Guiseley. Now it's very important on these hills to keep the brakes on. Do not release the brakes until the accelerator is ready to go on. Because as you can see, we have just climbed, in Train Simulator terms, an incredibly steep hill. For the railway, that is a steep hill. So it's got to make sure that that's all. We don't start rolling back. I still absolutely love these displays. And I mean all the signage as well, like look at all this. And you can read it all, like it's not like you can't read it. You can zoom in at it all and read it. There we go, come on. And it's all just how clean it is and detailed it is. Like, it's just a seriously good route. And I mean, when you drive the other routes like I have done in the other previous videos, you realise just how good this is by even the details on the platform, like just the line and the minder step and the posters and everything. You can look at, you can zoom and you can read everything. And you can go to these stations in real life or look at them on Google Maps, and I will tell you now that they are identical. The signage is identical, the position of the posters is identical, the tap-on, tap-off machines and door entries are identical. Everything is absolutely like on point. And I mean, this scenario, as you've seen with all the traffic that we saw around Leeds, I mean, that all looks really cool as well. Like, there's just been a lot of thought put into this. Now, if you are sat here wondering and you heard me earlier in the video and was like, oh, I didn't realise you could remove vehicles that you don't have. I've only learned that because I researched it. Basically, when you spawn into a scenario, it doesn't always work. But if you spawn into a scenario and you don't have a vehicle, it comes up with a vehicle that you don't have that isn't, as long as it isn't the one that you're driving, obviously, what you can do is you can press F2, press cancel, and then it will let you load the scenario. So for this particular video, what it's done is it's let me load the scenario. Nothing has changed with it. All the traffic has worked as normal. There's just a few other bits and bobs that are in the background that we don't have. There we go. That's Bradford Forster Square, I would imagine. But there's a few bits like that that, as I say, we haven't noticed, we haven't missed. We know that the main 333s are going to be here, so that's not an issue. I need to put full service on because it is not braking at all for this downhill section, and I do fear we might be missing this station because it is just not wanting to work at all. I think we might be missing this station, people, because yeah, I don't think it wants to work for us. I think we've missed a station. Yes, we might now. The back end of it's not even going to get on either. Oh, are we going to get a door open? We might have to reverse it, I think. Let's just reverse it a little bit. We haven't entirely missed a station. And that is the first overrun, I think, of the series. It was going to happen at some point, and yeah, it happened. We still made the station though. We didn't entirely miss it, and we were able to reverse. It does happen in real life, but yeah, we will not focus on it too much. But these things happen. So this is Menston. I've been through here on the train and on the bus where this bus is parked. First bus serve it with buses between Otley and Leeds, and connections buses serve it for buses between Otley and Ilkley. Make sure we're heading forward. As I say, we will just ignore the fact that I did ever so slightly overrun that. Reversed it, we made it. There was only a little bit of emergency brake. I am going to blame the gradient a little bit for that. I'm going to be honest, it sort of just slid down it, although I'm also to blame. I probably should have started braking a little bit sooner, knowing that I am driving a Pacer and it's got Pacer brakes. Don't do it again, and as long as we don't go over the buffers at Ilkley, we're doing okay. I'm not even taking a chance at this station. I'd rather run a couple of minutes late than risk it at all. It's all such a lovely area as well. The Airedale and Whafedale lines are like really, really scenic lines as well. Like the areas that they go to, I mean, the bit up to Skipton from Leeds is the start of the Settle and Carlisle line. So when you go on that on a northern train, not what they've been doing recently, that is the van to West Coast. When you go on that on like a northern train, you start in Leeds. You start somewhere along this section up to Skipton, and then you make your way up to Settle and then along to Carlisle. So it is the start of that, so it is obviously quite scenic. But it is like the more scenic parts of West Yorkshire as well. There's a lot of urban area in West Yorkshire, like as you've seen when we did the previous video, when we went from Dewsbury to Leeds. There's a lot of urban area, but it's really, really odd that this route just exists on its own. It's been running electric northern units on it for ages. It was the first line in the northern network to have automated announcements on it. Like, this has just existed on its own for years and years, and it's such a picturesque, like, beautiful railway line, and like routes, and as I say, it's really, really nice to be appreciated, finally be appreciated in Train Simulator, and in such high quality as well. Is worth mentioning. Like the quality in which this has been represented is like just, I still cannot get over just how good it is and how it's been presented. Something else worth noting as well, because it is Armstrong Powerhouse, they like to go above and beyond with these things. You can see the doors are open when you are sat in the passenger saloon. I think that is absolutely awesome. It's just that extra level of feature. I mean, what we drove in the last video, the 150, would not have had that. It would not have had that extra feature, but that just really, really like, just gives that extra effect off. And it's also time for me to get back into the cab so we can keep going. There's no point that the driver sat in the passenger saloon, won't get anywhere that quick. There we go, Burnley and Whafedale. Nice, very shiny cars. Again, it is the kind of area where it is very shiny cars. Just look at all of this. I'm going on about the road, the replacement works and bits like that. Like, oh, goodness me. This looks so good. Just the detail on everything, like the signage and everything. Everything is so high quality and just done absolutely spot on. Again, I cannot highly recommend this route enough. I really can't. It's such a nice route. And as I say, I am sort of peppercorning it in with other routes and bits like that, but I do think we are going to have to devote a couple of videos on this, for sure. Because as I say, now it's been a few weeks since it's been out, the hype has died down just a little bit, but we want to keep it hyped on this channel. We want to keep it going. So as I say, I definitely think a few more videos, and possibly a couple more custom scenarios as well. I've been doing a little bit of research into what allocations have happened along the lines in more recent times, so we'll be getting some of them in. And I do think the next video does have to involve us starting at Bradford Foster Square. We haven't done that yet. In the series, saying that was like the main place, and all of my adventures used to start from on these lines. I do feel it's a little bit rude we haven't started there yet, so I do think Bradford Foster Square has to be the next starting point for us, for sure. So Ben Ridding, and then as you can see after Ben Ridding, we make our way to Ilkley. Now unfortunately it looks like we've failed Guiseley because we arrived a minute late. Because we arrived a minute late, we have failed. The rest of them are part of, I mean, we're going to fail Ilkley as well because we are a little bit late, unfortunately. But thankfully we were successful on the other stops, including Menston, surprisingly, that we overran. No, and we've missed it. Because I've gone straight for the queue. That's not ideal. I've gone straight for the queue on the keyboard and totally not realised that it doesn't work properly as it should do, and I've actually got to press it on the HUD. So that's why I went to the HUD at the very last minute. I will get used to it, I promise. It just might take us a couple of videos, a couple more videos of us getting caught out by the AWS, and then we should be hunky-dory, I think. Just get it going again. The people sat on the train are probably thinking, goodness me. But it happens. exciting, and I'm driving a pacer to Ilkley. That is not something many people can say nowadays. Well, not something that has happened for quite a while. I am actually going to let us get around this part a little bit more. Before I attempt to screenshot, I think. If I overrun this now, I will not be impressed. So let's just make sure that we're stopping in time. And as you can see, Ben Ridding is incredibly close to Ilkley. There is not much in it at all, although I still do not think we're going to be able to load here and get to Ilkley in 2 minutes. I'm going to be honest. I'm good, but I'm not that good. I used to be alright with this, with stopping at stations and stuff like that. It used to be really, really rare I overshot it. It just seems to be taking me a little bit to get back into the limbo thing, or the lingo of things. Oh, I said limbo of things. Not really much limboing involved when you're doing this. Oh, you cut it fine. That was definitely cut fine. You didn't fit a train at last second. I mean, it's literally like less than a mile, or a mile-ish, from here to Ilkley. It's not far, but we are not getting there in a minute. I'm not that good. So, but, I will be honest, I'm not as far out on time as I thought I would be. I'm very much not as far out on time as I thought I would be. I thought I'd be doing a lot worse than this. So I'm actually quite impressed with how well I've done. And as we leave the beautiful Ben Ridding station as well, it does. I still cannot get over how good this game looks. It really does look the part. When you've got a proper well-built unit like this, it seriously looks the part. You've got all the bumps and the bits like that, and just all the phenomenal added detail on this. Don't get me wrong, you do need a decent rig to run this. Really, to run this rig, you need a decent rig, because if you have not got it on full graphic settings, believe me, you're missing out. So missing out on this rig. And I don't usually say that. Usually on the routes and bits like that, you can get away with it a little bit. Like when we drove the Bishop Auckland to Darlington, because it's a slightly older route, you can get away with it. But on a route like this, you've got to have a decent rig, because you have got to make most of all this scenery. It is just, the detail on this is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really is good. Louder in the saloon. I'm already poised on the hub, because I can see what's coming up. There we go, let's press it, get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off. Why aren't you pressing? It decided not to press, okay. That's a new one. I was there, poised, ready, and it didn't even work on the hub that time. Okay. Okay, I don't know what to suggest now. I think the train's faulty. That's what I'm going to say. The train's faulty, because I have no other justification for that at all. Because I was poised on it, I saw it coming up, I knew the warning had come up. I was all ready. I mean, I'm going to have to just stay on this because I can see what's coming up. Like, obviously, the red at the end of the platform. There's pressing it in anticipation. As I say, a few minutes late pulling in, but nevertheless, we're here. Just try and get it chucked down as far as we can, as far as the speed that it's currently got going will take it. That will do. And we'll get the doors open. We'll pause it before it gives me whatever notice it does. Possibly we have failed because of Geisley. We'll have a little look around Ilkley and then I'll end the video off. Again, this is something worth mentioning, once again, is when you look at the other routes that we drove quite recently, and we did have a little look at the bus stations and bits like that, the detail on the bus stations, especially on some of the TrainSim own products, was a little bit disappointing. But let's take a look at this. Yes, there are limitations with what you are able to do with Train Simulator. There is with the scenery. But look at this. Like, you've got all the bus stands here. You've got a clear road. They've gone to the detail of putting a bus there, a shelter. They've made the road as realistic as physically possible. You've got the fence. You've got, again, the notices here. Like, you've got this one that you can read everything on it. Like, literally everything on here can be read. It's absolutely amazing. The only thing I will mention on this, though, is that this notice is for Barton on Humber. So though it does say Airedale and Wharfdale, as I have zoomed in, I have noticed the likes of Scunthorpe and Wintringham and Immingham. So yes, this is for Barton and Humber, but there is still detail on it. And then you've got the other bits like this, useful information points, all the other notices, the network map. The detail on this is amazing. You can walk through. I mean, there's a Marks and Spencer's there usually, another shop there. All usually quite expensive because Ilkley's quite a nice place. And then you've got our unit sat there. So I think that's going to be the best way to end it off, to be fair. Us staring at our train from the station. So I do hope you enjoyed that video. That was fun. A little bit longer. It took us a little bit longer than planned, so I do apologise about that. But it was a nice one nevertheless. Thoroughly enjoyed it. A really nice drive of the Pacer as well, the Armstrong Powerhouse Enhanced Pacer. That's really, really nice. I cannot, again, emphasise how nice this train is to drive. The sounds in it are beautiful. Everything about it is absolutely spot on. And as I say, along with the map, like the combination of the two are absolutely perfect. The scenario as well, that as I said, does come with the route as part of the package. The scenario as well, absolutely spot on. A lovely amount of AI trains, all of which were in the same era. Lots of different liveries, capturing what Leeds was like during sort of like the early 2000s. When Aviva took it on and it was all changed and bits like that, and there was stuff like all over the place. That's really, really cool to see as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's always an absolute pleasure to drive on routes like this. And I'll be no doubt back on this route very, very soon. I might be with one of my own scenarios. I might be with another I find. I might be with one that came with the route. I'll have to see what happens. But for now, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have done, please do be sure to click that like button, as that way more people can find the video and enjoy it just like you have and allow our channel to grow. And if you are new here, you haven't already, then do be sure to subscribe to the channel simulation section, the one that you are watching, for more content like this from Train Simulator, OMSI 2 and possibly some other transport simulators. Thank you once again for watching. I really appreciate your support and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video I make. Bye for now. Bye.